Over the past year, I have worked with over 200 online teachers to help them to see an increase in enrollments and income through platforms like Outschool. And one of the biggest questions that I get is, how do I get more reviews? So I'm here today to give you my best tips to hopefully increase the amount of reviews that you're able to receive so that in turn, families feel more inclined to book classes with you. But make sure that you stay until the end though, because I'm going to be sharing how newbie online teachers can increase their chances of getting those first few enrollments without having any reviews. Hey, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Laney Goff, and I am an online teacher and business coach. I help online teachers create successful online teaching businesses. I help online teachers create successful online teaching businesses with strategies on lesson planning, marketing, and technology. If you want to learn more, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, or you could even hit the notification bell so that you can be up to date every time I release new content. Whether you're a newbie online teacher with a platform like Outschool, Cambly, or KidPass, or maybe you're a veteran online teacher who's looking to gain more bookings, you have to understand that reviews are important. Some families are less likely to take the plunge of enrolling in a class if there aren't any reviews to back up that the class is worth it or not. And this makes total sense. Think about it like this. If you were to purchase something from Amazon, but you're looking at two different products, they're pretty much the same product, but one has reviews that you can actually read what the other purchasers have thought about the product that they received versus another one that's the exact same that doesn't have any reviews, you're more likely to go with the one that has reviews because people have actually received the product and they're able to tell you whether it's worth it or not. This is not a bad thing, but it's something to keep in mind that if you want to increase your bookings and enrollments, then it's important for you to get reviews. Yes, if you want to know more about seeing success as an online teacher, make sure that you download my free framework for creating a successful online teaching business by clicking this link right here. If you're like the majority and you want to know how to get more reviews as an online teacher, then the answer to this is actually really simple, but often overlooked. Most of the time, parents or families are more inclined to leave a review in two instances. One of them being that the class knocked their socks off or their learners' socks off, right? Not literally knocked their socks off, but it was that good that they feel like they have to tell the world that this class is so worth investing in. The other option is the opposite of that. Maybe they felt like the class was so terrible that they have this need to warn other parents not to invest in that class. Now, this is not to say that there aren't parents out there who will do the mediocre reviews, right? Maybe they will leave a 2, a 3, or a 4-star review, and that's perfectly fine. But most of the time, parents and families, they're busy, right? It takes some time in their eyes to stop and to leave a review, but they're more inclined to do so when a class is either a 5-star class, 100%, or it's maybe a 1 or 2-star class and they're not satisfied with what they got for their money. So if you're not seeing the reviews that you want to see, then there are a few things that you can consider doing to help with this. As an online teacher and an independent contractor, you have to look at yourself as more than just a teacher. You have to have this business mindset where you understand that you're running as a business, not just an individual. You have to constantly be evaluating the products or services that you are offering to make sure that you're living up to the hype, right? And the easiest way that you can do this is by watching the recordings of any classes that you have taught. This is simple and something that I know Outschool is able to provide for teachers and for students. So after you complete a class, you have the option, after a couple of hours, you have the option to watch the recording. I highly suggest, not only if you are not seeing reviews, but even if you are, I highly suggest as an online teaching business that you're taking the time to review those recordings. Because when you're in the moment in a class, it's easy for you to overlook some important things that you may be able to notice by going back and watching the recording. You should be analyzing how your students are reacting to you, whether they're the ones who are speaking to you at that moment or the ones who are not. But you should also be doing market research to see what is making these other online teachers who are seeing success on platforms like Outschool and Cambly, what is it that seems to be a commonality in the reviews that they're getting? This is what I mean by that. If there are successful online teachers in your niche, for me, for example, I teach a lot about dinosaurs for 4 to 6-year-olds. I could easily look on Outschool's platform for other teachers who are teaching on that same subject to that same age range. And I could see who my biggest competition is and which ones have a lot of reviews. It would be beneficial for me to go through and read the reviews of these classes that the other teachers are offering to see if there are commonalities in what the families are writing in their reviews. For example, they could say things like, the teacher is upbeat and fun. The learners love using a certain technology that the teacher provides in the class, that the lesson content was extremely valuable, et cetera, et cetera. There are so many things, but you should read a bunch of reviews and write down what seems to be the commonality in the reviews that they're receiving, because that's what's important to families and parents and learners. If you're seeing that the teacher was upbeat and fun, then maybe you should consider your disposition in your class and evaluate, am I being that upbeat and fun teacher that parents and families want to see? And maybe it's not your personality. Maybe it's technology or utilizing something in class to be able to benefit the learner, increase their interaction and engagement in the class. And that's what the parents want to see. Maybe there's a way that you could learn to incorporate different things in your classroom to encourage that. This is the important thing, is always analyzing what you're doing in your classroom. So going through and reading reviews of other online teachers and then coming back to your own recordings and watching and seeing, am I doing these things that these parents have noted in other classes that stood out? That's what stood out to them. Am I doing that in my classroom? If not, am I willing to do those things? And can I improve on them? That is going to be the game changer, because what you want to do is you want to create those 5-star classes. You want to create those classes that do knock off parents and learners' socks. Not really, but you know what I mean. You want to leave them with an impression, a good impression, a fantastic impression, not just good, a fantastic impression. Then they are more likely to leave a review if they feel like your class was worth every penny that they spent. Now, one thing that I really want to address before we move on to ways that newbie online teachers can increase their first few enrollments without having any reviews, I want to make it known that there is a common mistake that online teachers seem to make when they are looking to increase their reviews. And that mistake is lowering their class prices. I would highly encourage you not to do this for a number of reasons, mainly because you are devaluing what it is that you're offering, because you think that by lowering your price and offering something that's less expensive than a competitive teacher, that you're going to see those bookings. That's not always the case. And it doesn't always encourage the right families or learners to show up for your classes that you want to see. That's not to say that people who pay less for a class aren't desirable students. That's not the case at all. That's not what I mean by this. What I mean by that is that you want to show parents and families and learners that you are worth every cent that you are charging. And in order to do that, if you lower your price, then it shows that you're questioning if you're worth that amount of money or not. Now, I do think that there needs to be some market research done in regards to pricing your classes. And in fact, my next YouTube video is going to be about how do you figure out how to price your classes with platforms like Outschool. But that's something that you have to keep in mind. If you're looking to increase your reviews, it's not always a great idea to lower your prices so that you can get those enrollments and cross your fingers for those reviews. It doesn't always happen like that. And it's taking away from money in your pocket that you deserve because of the time and the energy that you've spent on creating these lessons. Now, let's jump into how newbie online teachers can increase their chances of getting those first few enrollments without having any reviews. If this is you, then I highly encourage you to think long and hard about the class ideas that you are offering. It's easy to pick a niche sometimes and to have a really great understanding of what you're an expert at and what you have passion about. But what's really really important with platforms like Outschool is finding ways for you to stand out with your classes. This starts by offering classes in your niche that no other teacher is offering. You should be taking the time to do the research to figure out how you can set yourself apart from all of the other teachers who are in your niche and who are your competitors. You want to make sure that you are niching down your class ideas so that you're able to offer something that's unique. Even if your niche seems to have a lot of competition, that's okay. Like I said in the beginning of this video, it's not about a platform being oversaturated with teachers. You should really be asking yourself, how can you add value to your niche by offering something unique or really giving your students a different learning experience than any other teacher is going to do in your niche. If you want to know more about how to stand out as an online teacher and how to see the most success with your online teaching business, then be sure to click this link where you can learn more about joining my team course, where I share with you strategies on lesson planning, marketing, and technology that will allow you to see an increase in enrollments and an increase in income. So now you've learned how to get more reviews as an online teacher. And in next week's video, we'll be talking all about how to price your classes as an online teacher. Until then, make sure that you check out these two videos on how to stand out and increase your chances of seeing enrollments and possibly some really great reviews. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.